Welcome to The Know. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
And we like movies, and we want to talk movies with each other and you guys.
The classic intro we always have for these movies.
we like
movies. We're going to talk about them. Welcome to our movie talking place.
I hope you know that since you've clicked on this already. So
yeah.
It's like, what the shit? This isn't about Fallout.
So we're going to talk about Incredibles 2. We got to see it a little early, and we have thoughts. Eric, I want to know your thoughts first.
Yeah, I haven't really told you what I thought.
You know
told
a little
me
bit
what
mine.
you thought.
Yeah.
I think I liked it more than you did,
Cool.
even though you seemed to like it.
I did.
I had a feeling about 30 minutes into the movie where I'm like, I feel exactly about this movie the way I did the original Incredibles.
Really?
In terms of like the character, it doesn't feel like they've missed any time.
Gotcha.
Right? It feels like you could watch Incredibles and Incredibles 2 and it's one long movie.
I will agree with that.
And like there is no like trying to recapture the feeling or the tone or the characters. It just is. Mm-hmm. Right? And so I think that I might forgive it a little some like plot, not conveniences, but some plot echoing that they do.
Yeah.
Because of that, because it's essentially the same movie when you actually break it down as the original.
It's
just
very much the same movie.
It's just from a different point of view.
Yeah.
Well, somebody else's point of view.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed myself. It didn't deliver what I wanted to deliver, but I also, I have a self caveat where I know that I expect probably more from A, Pixar, and B, sequels than most people do. I'm kind of someone with movies and actors and filmmakers in general that once you show me you can achieve a certain degree of something, and then I go see another project of yours and you don't achieve that, I'm going to be a little disappointed. I'm not going to hate your movie, but it's not going to. I'm not going to have as positive as a reaction as I want. So, for instance, Pixar has shown that they can make just perfect movies and just like amazing original stories, and then on top of that they've shown they can hit a sequel if they really wanted to hit a sequel. Toy Story's 2 and even into Toy Story 3, but Toy Story 2 is a great example of like we can make an amazing first movie and make a follow-up that's just as amazing. And Incredibles is maybe my favorite Pixar movie of all time, and so I was like, all right, you're gonna do Incredibles 2, can you do it again? And they did it again to a B-level degree for me. Definitely not like anything where I was disappointed or I came out angry, and there was moments in this movie that I will sing praises for the rest of my life. One involves a raccoon, But, as a movie overall, I wasn't amazed, but I definitely didn't leave disappointed.
So what did you said it didn't give you what you wanted from it. What did you want from it?
I kind of look for, like, we even just touched on it where you said, like, it did a lot of this, the first movie, again, from a different perspective, obviously with big differences, but generally kind of rehashing a little bit of it. I like sequels to be an expansion of the original world, which this movie did. It was a big expansion of it. Yeah. I like it to do what I liked in the first movie, but bigger and better. This one didn't do it as much. Like, I don't recall as many of, like, let's say, the stunt sequences and action sequences as I don't know, well choreographed, as amazing as I felt like the first movie was able to pull off.
Minus the raccoon scene, of course.
Minus the raccoon scene. I'm not going to say what the raccoon scene is because I don't want to spoil anything, but there's an amazing raccoon scene.
There's good animal stuff all around. There's a good owl man in this movie.
There's a good owl situation. There's a good raccoon situation. It's really great. And also, like, the stuff they did with Edna in this one is just like, we got more Edna. We're good. We're good, everybody. We're good for another few years.
Yeah.
But also, story-wise, I love for them to have something, I don't know, new to tell, some new story to tell, some new character story to tell worthwhile. This one just wasn't as interesting of a story for me as the first one. The first one tackled such cool dynamics of this whole superhero situation, this whole Watchmen-esque world and that kind of thing.
But via Pixar lens.
It was. And this one, like, it didn't do that as well. This one projected itself way more than the first one. And so, like, I think 15 minutes in the movie, I knew how the movie was going to end. And not that that's a terrible thing that can happen sometimes, but in this one, I was like, oh, I know how we're going to end. I wish could be more surprised with this.
So if you guys don't know the basic plot, we won't go into any spoilers.
No spoilers.
But it's essentially, there's a guy. It takes place literally right after the end of the
The
first
mole,
movie. Yeah.
what's his name? The mole,
The
Underminer.
Underminer, yeah.
The Underminer literally shows up and they start the movie.
Yeah, and then there's an overlap with the end of the first movie, and it's essentially still bad for supers.
Yes.
And they look at all the destruction, and it's kind of like all the online comments after Man of Steel, right?
Yes.
It's everybody's like, they don't look at the actual good that they did.
He killed Zod, okay?
Yeah.
they just look at Metropolis is half gone.
Yeah, it's like they just see the aftermath.
Yeah.
And so the concept is that they're trying to revitalize the public perception
Yes.
of supers and get the laws changed so supers can come back.
Via Saul from Breaking Bad.
Yes, like he's a very optimistic guy, and he's like kind of a seller. He's like a business mogul.
Very
guy.
nostalgic with the superhero mythos.
And so he's trying to push that agenda, and he's trying to get the laws changed. And he thinks that Elastigirl is the best person to do it because she doesn't go in and like destroy everything. Where Mr. Incredible, that's his MO. He'll run in, he'll punch, and destroy shit, and that's how he wins.
Her story is to go off and help change laws, and Mr. Incredible's story is to stay home and be stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, and I think that the stuff that I like the most in the movie is actually in that dynamic, because they don't play it as Bob Parr going, oh, cool, honey, you go do your thing. He's envious of it.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do. He wants to be that hero.
Yeah.
And he thinks that's his role, so he feels emasculated.
Did like that.
And in the way that they play it, like it doesn't come off as like misogynistic as you would think.
Yeah.
That
it starts off
have.
with like him obviously having to battle with these standards of the time, which those standards of the time hasn't changed quite enough for me currently, but very much the time this movie set in, it's like him battling with that, like the default of what it should be, whereas the guy goes and work and that kind of thing. But it doesn't just leave it there, and it does develop it a lot more. Yeah,
because you also get the feeling he's not just upset that the woman in the relationship is making the money or getting the job.
No,
it's that she is doing everything that he wants to.
Yeah.
So he's got the envy there as well, but then he's also wants to be a good dad.
Yeah.
And he thinks that he can approach fatherhood like he did superhero.
Yeah.
Things like, I got this is super easy.
Yeah.
And at the beginning he thinks he does it, and that's one of the things that I really liked about what they did there is, like, at the beginning he's like, yeah, no, this is simple. Feed the kids, put them to bed, read them a bedtime story, and then, as anybody that's ever had to care for children knows, that's not as simple as it
you're
is.
A dummy. Even if he was just alone with Jack, he would have been an idiot for thinking that was easy. Like, just even the one baby would have been enough. Baby minus powers would have been enough for him to be like, that's not easy.
Yeah,
Much less baby that has interdimensional traveling abilities.
Yes. So, I mean, that's kind of the basic setup, and so you can see why there's a lot of similar parallels where you have, Helen going off and doing these adventures, much like he did, kind of covertly in the first movie, and you just spend a lot more time at home with the family unit.
Yeah. But it is amazing that if you were to watch both of them back to back, the leaps in animation quality, because even Incredibles 1 pushed the envelope of what Pixar couldn't have done back in the day, which was things like humans and lots of humans and hair and lots of fabric and then special effects like superpowers, and like Brad Bird pushed them and kept asking of that group, because that was his first time working with them, to like, hey, do more, and like it turned into like some big arguments in the creation of Incredibles. But you watch Incredibles 2 and it's pretty amazing to watch like the detail and scope of this movie. It's pretty insane what they put into what, like, I don't know, if someone like me, like, yeah, you can just watch an anime show and be like, that's cool how they did that. But then I know it's like someone had to figure out how to tell there's a moment where Jack is licking a ice ball, and I know that someone had to create a program that would create what his tongue is supposed to look like from this end through an ice ball, and it's amazing. Yeah. And that's me geeking out a little bit.
Yeah.
So the animation's great, the music's there just like in the first movie.
Oh, for sure, yeah. G. knocks it out of the park again.
It's so good.
And there are some really good action scenes. There's a sequence where Helen has to stop a runaway train.
There's
and she's on her motorcycle, and I think clips are online about this now, where you can kind of see it, but it's built for her so she can like disengage the first wheel from the second because she can stretch.
Yeah.
And it's They do some really inventive stuff with that. You know, we meet other supers.
We do.
And they have
weird.
really cool powers as well, and really fun powers.
Very
and
X-Force-esque from like Deadpool 2.
it feels a little bit like Mystery Men, actually. I
Yes.
got a Mystery Men vibe from it. There's like this one old guy that his
name
power
is Reflux.
Yeah, he has the power to vomit.
Vomit
like
stuff.
lava. Yeah.
But yeah, I know
They're fun. It's really inventive. Like
It is.
they have some fight scenes. You know, there's a girl named Void who can open portals. So she's essentially got the portal gun from Portal, right?
Yeah.
And
or she's Shard from X-Men. Sorry,
yeah.
I'll
So
stop.
yeah. Okay, nerd. I'm trying to tie it into the no audience here.
The gaming,
Come on.
yeah, Portal.
You know, so but there's you know, so they do a lot of inventive stuff with that, and during
They do.
fight scenes, and how you can, you know,
There's
take a punch and open up a portal and open up a portal next to their face, and the punch will come
That's
in
great.
with them and
It
stuff
is.
like that.
It is.
So, yeah. So I mean, you know, I think that it may not be the Toy Story 2 emotional gut punch, you know, kind of movie, but like it's like I said at the beginning, I was watching this going, this is kind of what I hope for in sequels.
Yeah.
This is, you know, at least on a base level, a foundation level, it feels right. It doesn't feel forced. It's fun.
Yes.
It has the exact same tone and pacing, and
Yes.
like everything that I liked about Incredibles is in the sequel.
Yes.
So, you know, like I said, I think that I can forgive a little bit of echoing of the basic plot foundations that they do.
So I would assume that on the go see it, wait or don't, you're definitely on the go see it.
For sure.
Yeah. And I am also on the go see it, and this is definitely a fun one to go see in the theaters.
Especially if you have kids. Like, kids are gonna like love it. As much as kids love the original, this one's like even more.
If your kid cried at Infinity War, take them to Incredibles to make up for it. They don't die at the end, I'll just say that.
Or Hereditary. That's the other option.
Take them to Hereditary. It's a good old A24 production. You know, they make all those kids movies.
It's a family picture, so.
But yeah, Incredibles, definitely go see it. It does not disappoint. It's nowhere near as, let's say, Cars 2.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's definitely a movie that families are gonna dig. It's definitely a movie that I think people who like the original are gonna like. You know, I don't see a downside to going to see this one. It's pretty, it's big, it's loud, it's fun.
Good summer movie.
Yeah. Cool.
That'll be it.
That it? Yeah, we've done it.
We'll see you next time. Not the same time, but the same channel. Like and subscribe and smash all the buttons. Bye.
Bye.
It's time to make some wrong things right. Help me bring supers back into the sunlight. We need to change people's perceptions about superheroes, and Elastigirl is our best play.
Better than me?